and welcome to Cary Academy's commencement ceremony. At this time, please take a moment to locate your nearest emergency exit and to silence your cell phone. Now, please take your seats as our commencement ceremony is about to begin.
Please remain standing. Please remain standing while Kate Park, Student Council President, leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Family and friends, please be seated. Seniors, please be seated. Board members, graduates, parents, guests, alumni, and employees, welcome to the commencement for the class of 2018. I'd like to take you back to the beginning, back to 6th grade. Actually. 6th grade this year, so not your 6th grade, but 6th grade this year, when I was shadowing a Cary Academy student, a 6th grader, through his entire day. And I ended that day in beginning orchestra class. And it was probably the 3rd week of school at that point, so the kids were still being introduced to their instruments. They actually weren't even using their bows. They were just holding their violins, their violas, their cellos. And Mr. Chow, our orchestra teacher, was trying to tune them so they could play. Now imagine a group of 6th graders, and you give them something that makes noise, and you tell them, do not make noise. And I'm in the back of the class. It had been a long day. And Mr. Chow would be, shh, shh, quiet down. I need to hear. He's trying to tune each individual instrument. And then you'd hear this tap, tap, tap. Or you'd hear the tuk, 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 tuk. And then the cacophony would sort of build in the room. And then shh, shh, shh. He'd quiet him down and he'd work his way around the room. And it felt to me like about an hour. But in reality, it was probably about 10 minutes or so. But I was nervous in the back of the room for Mr. Chow. Is this going to work? What's going to happen? Is something going to happen in this class period? And thankfully, I was staying for the entire class period. Eventually, he got through the room, and he had some notes on the board, and he stands up front, and he starts them, and you're hearing them pluck, and it's like, and it's hard to make sense of what they're doing. But eventually, a melody starts to emerge. Da, 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 da. And at that moment, Mr. Chow, who had been looking down, looked up at his class, and he had the biggest, brightest smile that you can imagine. Now, I take you back to 6th grade because in some ways, as we know with life, your beginning and your end have some parallels. And so I think if we look at the parallel to maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks, we replace the instruments as noisemakers and distractors, and we put in Mario Kart, we might get a sense of what it's been like to try to herd you together to get you to the end of your senior year and to our time today. But that's not really the message that I have for you today. I want to talk about Mr. Chow's smile. This is a time of celebration. There will be lots of smiling, so that's appropriate that we would have that. I know a number of the faculty in the room know exactly where Mr. Chow's smile came from. Goodness gracious, something good happened and the head of the school's in the back of the room. Right? But that's not even it. Mr. Chow's smile was a smile of potential. In his smile, I saw that he felt that these raw 6th graders You give me 7 years with them and we can make music. It can be beautiful. And for any of you in the room that have coached, mentored, parented, grandparented, taught, and worked with young people, you've all had that smile. And in this room, there are millions of those little moments along the journey where we thought, I see something here. If we keep at it, if we keep going, this is where we will end up. And that's what Mr. Chow's smile represented to me. Now, that is not the end of this story, however, because at the end of the year orchestra concert, this group, the orchestra students, were playing at the end of that concert, and some of you were there for that. And it's a tradition at the end of our arts performances to introduce our seniors. So Mr. Chow had all of the seniors standing up on the stage, and he had prepared some remarks for them. And he got up to introduce them, and he couldn't. He got choked up, and he paused, and the audience, some of us were choking back our own tears. There was audible, "Oh, Mr. Chow, he can't do it. I feel bad." So what happened at that moment, though, was that the seniors standing on the stage improvised, and they went over and they surrounded Mr. Chow and they gave him a hug. It was a beautiful moment by our seniors. And I think as we come together to celebrate today, I want you to think about those smiles and those hugs that have defined this educational journey for all of our graduates. And I'll close, though, by also reminding you that there are a number of us in the room who may not be so good at verbalizing our love. We have maybe another love language. And so Mr. Chow and our seniors also remind us there are lots of different ways to say congratulations. And so from me to you, congratulations to the class of 2018. At this time, I'd like to introduce members of our board of directors. Independent schools are governed by boards whose directors accept the responsibility for the school's long-term success. Cary Academy's board is a group of highly respected community leaders. They model excellence in their careers, in community service, and in their commitment to our school. As I list the names of board members in attendance today, I'd like to ask them to stand when introduced. At the end, would you please join me in thanking them with a well-deserved round of applause. Jim Goodnight, Ann Goodnight, Monica Udell, Trudy Bate, Kendall Bell, Mike Curran, Lenita Dorflinger, Jeff Eakes, Jim Johnson, Manju Kakari, and Jennifer Weiss. We will now hear from a few very special individuals. All the students speaking today share the honor of having been selected by their classmates. Caroline Brewer will present a special thank you from the class of 2018.
Good afternoon, friends, family, and guests. Dear parents and guardians, as we reflect on the foundation of our experience at Cary Academy, it becomes clear that now more than ever is a time of gratitude. Now more than ever is an opportunity for us to step back and look at all of the factors that have contributed to our success, contributed to our being, and made us the people that we are today. It becomes impossible then to ignore the indelible mark that you, parents, have left on our lives. 18 years of raising us is no easy task. I'll bet that you remember the days of diaper changes and baby faces like it was yesterday. I'll bet you look upon the day you dropped us off at Cary Academy wearing tucked-in polo shirts and plaid Bermuda shorts and Aeropostale merchandise galore with nostalgia and maybe a little bit of secondhand embarrassment at our attempts at being young trendsetters. We sure have come a long way. The past 18 years, you have been selfless and supportive. You have never failed to prioritize our needs over yours when we need it most. But this day is just as much for you as it is for us. You may see us at the center stage of the production of your lives, but we all know that you are the true stars. We don't say it nearly enough as we should, but we appreciate everything that you've done to get us to this point. It's an impossible feat to sum up our gratitude for you in a mere 2 minutes. You've been there through our highs and our lows, our smiles and our tears, our wins and our losses, and you've loved us unconditionally through it all. You've sacrificed so much of your time in order to be there for us in a million incomprehensible ways. You've cheered us on during matches, attended countless recitals, comforted us through our struggles, and applauded our every success. So here's to the people who have raised us and shaped us and helped us become the people you see sitting before you today. You've raised basketball players and servicemen and women, jazz musicians and decorated fencers, self-published authors, and even a few graduation speakers. But most importantly, you've raised young adults who are above all kind-hearted, immensely capable, and eager to leave their mark on the world in the same way you've impacted us. Thank you for being our support system. Thank you for showing us what it means to love and to be loved. Thank you for all of the meals and the hugs and the countless conversations we've had. Thank you for everything you've done and for everything you will do for us. We couldn't have made it here without you. We love you more than you know. In an attempt to convey our gratitude, the graduates have prepared thank you notes for their families. Would the parents of the class of 2018 please rise? Now, would the graduates please deliver your letters to your parents?
The senior class has selected 2 student keynote speakers. We will first hear from Kate Hampton, followed by Armen Kassam.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. The countdown is up. It is officially negative 0.25 days until graduation. It's a bit weird to think about, huh? The chalkboard in our senior corner, the countdown apps on our phones, or maybe the circles on our calendars for the older generations here, have all been leading us to this, moment zero. But what exactly happens now? Well, I, for one, propose we embark on a new countdown, and despite some of your best wishes, I am not, in fact, talking about the seconds until we're released to refreshments, 5,421, by the way, but rather something a bit more abstract. Cary Academy, or CA, to most of us around here, has meant a lot of different things to our class these past few years. It seems we say CA so much, we've become almost numb to the meaning behind it. While some may believe this is just an abbreviation for Cary Academy, I contend that it stands for so much more. Which is why today, I will be counting down 11 other interpretations of CA. Why 11, you may ask? Well, we entered 6th grade in 2011, and 11 times 11 is 121, which might have been the number of people we had in our grade at some point. And at 11:11, you make a wish, and we have been sitting, wishing, and waiting for graduation to come sooner. Not to mention that 11 backwards is also 11, and you get the point. First, though, let's talk about what, thankfully, CA no longer stands for. College applications. Chapter assignments. Computer annoyances. Construction, aggravation, or chicken. Always. Now on to the true meanings. Let's begin our countdown with number 11. CA stands for Conquering Apprehension. I don't think anyone can honestly deny they weren't at least slightly apprehensive upon entering high school. The Disney movies alone contributed enough to an impression that it would never be smooth sailing. But whether it was small things like diversifying our lunches after we were deprived of our beloved noodle bar and our peanut butter, or more complex issues like public speaking, asking a teacher for help, even putting out a controversial assertion, our class managed to turn these fears into strengths, effectively conquering our apprehension. In the process of doing so, we actually became adept at number 10, confronting ambiguity. One of the hallmarks of CA is its insistence on never settling for the easy or established approach. For my Harry Potter fans out there, I think we all know that the real evil of Dolores Umbridge was, of course, her introduction of a standardized education. Ooh. Luckily for us, simply answering a question was never the finish line. It was inevitably followed by a yes and, why, or on special occasions a so what. These questions forced us to break down our own biases and barriers as we sought to understand the gray perspectives that exist between the black and white. And by allowing any topic to be considered fair game, we became cosmopolitan thinkers with a deeper understanding of the world around us. Say a cultivated awareness, which, funnily enough, turns out to be number 9. I am constantly awed by some of the informed discussions on topical global issues that my classmates can maneuver with ease. Other discussions are slightly less awe-inspiring, but moving on. Next, CA stands for lack of colorful adornments. Okay, I'll be honest, this isn't that important, but it is my final opportunity. In college interviews, I would always be asked, what is one thing you would change about your high school? To that, I would say the wall colors. I'm tired of excuses saying our colorful personalities are sufficient. It's just not acceptable. Anyways, let's continue with number 7, caring assistance. By this, I'm referring to the incredible support system made up by our incredible faculty, and I know the teachers are contractually obligated to attend. But I truly believe in my heart that even if they weren't, at least half would still have shown up, which is pretty good. In all seriousness, I can say with confidence we would be nowhere close to where we are without the unwavering devotion of the faculty, the college counselors, the teachers, our friends, Jeff, whomever it was. We knew we could turn in any direction and find support if we were lost. That is the pinnacle of a community. Not just one person bridging everyone together, but a web of support, which is why number 6 is a cohesive atmosphere. By now, we had conquered apprehensions and confronted ambiguity and cultivated awareness, and combined with the knowledge we would always be embraced by our community, we were then free to explore. And boy, were we craving adventure, number 5. We explored mountains and beaches in other countries. Amongst us are entrepreneurs and pioneers in the fields of app making, robotics, fashion, music, baking, service, and more. If anything, we were arguably too eager to get a jump start on our lives. To sum it up, I would say that if life is a highway, we were getting speeding tickets. For number 4, constant appetite takes the spot. Besides earning a first-name basis with most of the restaurant workers in the Arboretum, we also maintained a healthy appetite for knowledge and self-improvement. And there are those who claim our drive has slacked off recently, especially regarding the ideas of discovery, innovation, collaboration, and excellence. To that, I say challenge accepted, and explain how we discovered the perfect time to order ahead for lunch pickup. We innovated with new technologies brought into Senior Corner every day. We collaborated daily at 3 o'clock for HQ trivia, and we excelled at sharpening our negotiation skills for outside class, deadline extensions, and free time. This required no shortage of creativity, and thus provides the background for number 3. Curiosity abound. Only the truly curious have the audacity, nay, the courage, to plaster question marks all over our new buses. Okay, you caught me. This is just a school-sponsored #CACurious plug. Number 2, chaos accepted. Looking for some evidence? Well, I love my seat in front of my head. My baby behind my seat. It looks so good on me. I love CA. And finally, number 1, we stand, well, I guess sit, before you today as confident adults, properly prepared to tackle the daunting, intangible, frustratingly blurry monster we call the future. Sure, we haven't seen the worst of life yet, but let me tell you, life hasn't seen the best of us, and that will be a sight to behold. Cary Academy has instilled us with this unflappable confidence in ourselves, and while most likely none of us will become astronauts, we were still encouraged to shoot for the stars, even if it was a double reach. Our countdown is up, but before I go, I'll leave you with one parting thought. We have been continually reminded to own our learning during our time here. But I propose a new challenge as we begin on our separate paths to take this one step further, stop waiting, forget the countdowns, and own our tomorrow. Thank you, and as always, seniors first.
Howdy. Peers, parents, family, teachers, administrators, members of the orchestral assembly. At times like this, we reflect on who we've become. And you know, there are classes of achievers, of leaders, of discoverers, innovators, collaborators, excellenters. But I am proud to say that we are different. The class of 2018 is a class of eaters. Just to reiterate, I said eaters, yes, like food consumption. And I did not come to this conclusion haphazardly, though you may very well think that now, and I do not blame you. And I do not blame you. But just to reiterate, eaters. And I realize that food has been the material and metaphorical focal point of our time at CA when I learned that my class has a high propensity to run around with spoons, making it seem like we're ready for any meal that comes our way. So forget about owning our tomorrow. Let's eat our tomorrow. Wait, okay. So let me share with you how the class of 2018 is Cary Academy's first bona fide class of eaters. My arguments are twofold. The first is, well, we eat a lot. In fact, I calculated that in just 4 years here, we have eaten nearly 68 million calories worth of lunches. Wow, we must have a pretty high metabolism. And in these 4 years, we've been led by our captain, Chef Sam, and have seen the highs and the lows of lunchroom dining. For example, ice cream on Tuesdays. That literally made my week every week. But when ice cream novelties was pushed back to a Wednesday or a Thursday without our permission, betrayal. Also, I would just like to mention that taking away Papa John's was a questionable decision, but I've been advised to let that slide. The point is, we consume a lot, and there is no shame in that. The average human body loses about 300 million cells per minute, and the atoms from Clux Deluxe or Assorted Roma's pizza replaces and rebuilds what we have lost. In other words, Cary Academy is quite literally a part of us. The food we have eaten here is a proxy for the friends we have made, the memories we cherished, the 2 a.m.s we spent cramming for A-Push, or more accurately, the 2 a.m.s we spent watching Friends, or The Office, or Stranger Things. And now it's 5 in the morning. The food we have eaten symbolizes how we have internalized the many messages from this home and its brilliant, warm denizens. For example, I no longer own my computer, nor do I own my car. In fact, I expect I will own few things considering college tuition. But there is not one day when I doubt we have owned our learning. The food we have eaten has energized us. Dare I say we are a class of #supercharged next-gen innovators. It is that food that we have converted into the chemical potential energy which turns kinetic when we run 4-minute, 20-second miles, wrestle our way into championships, make ball life, and in Charger fashion, ride horses. Our millions and millions of calories of chemical potential energy fueled the excellence that was us in math competitions and band concerts and robotics tournaments and debate tournaments and sporting events. From my perspective, typically on the bench, I saw excellence everywhere. The opportunities and the support that CA has given us has been our most substantive food. This institution has given us our potential, even though I like to think my benchwarming skills came naturally. Okay, so yeah, it's the food we have eaten. But the second reason as to why we are a bona fide class of eaters is about where we have eaten. And no, I do not mean Moe's Southwest Grill, though some of us have only eaten there for the past 6 months. I'm talking about the dining hall. Our narrative can be found in the dining hall, the one place that we invariably frequented for almost 7 full years. Like the different selections in the salad bar or the pasta bar, each and every one of us brings something new to the table. And our intersectionality invites ingenuity, creates flavors that you never knew even existed. Now, don't get me wrong, each of us have our own staples, our own stories, and our own flavors. But we love, we mix, and we combine with the 108 flavors around us. We are many meals united by a common kitchen. And this intricate balance between oneness and diversity has given us strength and perspective. In fact, our multitude of beautifully different experiences catalyzes our work and our innovation. It is our chemical reaction from potential to kinetic energy, and it has made a home for us here at Cary Academy. We have been given a seat at the table, a very, very comfortable seat. And it is now our job to share what we have gained with the rest of the world, to share the scrumptiousness of the flavors we have whipped up. And it was a privilege to be a part of CA, a school of incredible teachers, excellent programs, and fantastic resources. But now it's time to move on. But before we launch ourselves into the culinary unknown, continue to remember that this class is special. Do not measure our successes by the profundity of our papers, nor the purpose of our pieces, and not even the passion of these people. Measure us by the stature of our stomachs, by the aptitude of our appetites, by the core of our consumption, because 68 million calories later, we've got some stories to tell. We've got some friendships to cherish. We've got some values to espouse. And as we launch ourselves, and as we reflect on 7 years well lived, let's remember that CA is only the first course. Dear class of 2018, Cary Academy's first bona fide class of eaters, I think there's only one thing left to do. Eat on. Thank you.
Away.
At the upper school closing ceremony Thursday, we recognized many students for demonstrating excellence in a variety of areas during this past year. At Commencement, we show our appreciation for the generosity and vision of Cary Academy's founders by presenting one special award. The Founders Award is presented to a member of the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty and head of school, has acted as a model for all Cary Academy students through leadership, collaboration, excellence, and contribution to the school community. Each of Cary Academy's previous Founder Award recipients left a distinctive and enduring mark on our school. This year's recipient has done the same. This year's Founder Award recipient approaches everything and everyone as a catalyst for learning. His appetite for engaging concepts and engaging others seems virtually limitless. He's channeled his drive to connect into multiple areas of school life. Perhaps most notable, though, is through his role as our Chief Student Diversity Officer, a position he has held for the last 2 years. In this role, he's overseen our 13 affinity groups, represented us at diversity conferences locally and nationally, organized massive programming for the entire school, and modeled every single day his belief in the power of inclusion. Mr. Franklin, our diversity director, notes, he understands that there are problems that others have created, but he also understands that it's in his power to address them. He has an unrelenting drive to make our school and to make the world better. Beyond diversity programming, this senior has poured himself into Rhymers, a club he co-founded to celebrate and explore rap and hip-hop music. He's also devoted himself to tutoring and to speech and debate, where he's qualified for nationals in public forum. He qualified for the National Chemistry Olympiad as well, and has even worked in the lab of a Nobel Prize-winning chemist. As a student, he sets the bar in his classes, and he's impressed his teachers with his ability to connect concepts in original ways. He's endlessly curious, constantly reading ahead, thinking ahead, and asking insightful questions. As one faculty member said, you put him in a space, and that space instantly improves. I haven't been in a class or conversation with him where I didn't learn something new or see something in a different perspective. On top of that, he's a musician, a writer, a student of maps, and a master of the pun. Personally, he's disarmingly charming and one of the most humble, likable, charismatic, and interested and interesting people one could ever hope to know. We are better people and a better institution because of him. Mrs. Udell, would you please come forward, representing our founders? As it is a great pleasure to present the 2018 Founders Award to Armen Kassam.
What difference can a school make when it combines an interdisciplinary liberal arts curriculum with a technology-rich, innovative approach to learning, and one that teaches its students how to be global citizens from the first day that the students enter the doors as sixth graders? Today's commencement speaker, Lianne Gonsalves, a Cary Academy alumni from the class of 2006, actualizes our founders' vision of making a difference in Cary Academy students' lives so that our students will be difference makers for life. And what a difference Leanne is making. Working for the World Health Organization in Geneva, Switzerland, She is united with her colleagues at the WHO in a shared commitment to achieve better health for everyone, everywhere. The World Health Organization strives to combat diseases communicable like influenza and HIV, and non-communicable like cancer and heart disease. They help mothers and children survive and thrive so that they can look forward to a healthy old age. Leanne joined the WHO's Department of Reproductive Health and Research in Geneva in 2013. As a technical officer, she works on research to improve young people's sexual and reproductive well-being outside of health facilities. As a Boren Fellow in 2012, she researched and integrated population, health, and environment programming while living in Ethiopia. Before that, she taught English at a language institute and worked on health promotion issues as a Fulbright recipient in Caracas, Venezuela. She earned her MSPH in Social and Behavioral Interventions at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health in 2013. She's earned a BS in Biological Sciences and a BA in International Studies from the North Carolina State University in 2010, where she was a Park Scholar. So, where did the road of an interdisciplinary, technology-rich, innovative education lead this alumna? To better health for everyone, everywhere. Please join me in welcoming back Lianne Gonsalves to Cary Academy.
Thank you very much for that very kind introduction. Good afternoon, everyone, especially the class of 2018, who I had the pleasure of meeting just about an hour and a half ago. It is my privilege to be here as the first, but hopefully not the last, alumna to deliver the keynote at commencement. I entered the school in 1999. That was 3 years after Cary Academy was established. And as context, we had desktops instead of laptops. Ooh. The school was perpetually under construction, although it appears to be still perpetually under construction. And everything was a celebrated first. My mother has worked at Cary Academy since just after its founding, and my sister graduated from CA in 2010. Between their tenure and my own 7 years here as a student, the school has been a second home for me for over 20 years. So when Dr. Earhart asked me to speak, I said yes, without hesitation. However, in putting together this address, I got nervous. I'm 29, which is going to seem borderline middle-aged to the people sitting on either side of me, but is going to seem still incredibly naive to the ways of the world to the people sitting in front of me. I don't have a lifetime of wisdom to impart, and I am actively still wading through life's quagmires myself. I'll put it another way. I spent 4 years on Cary Academy's cross-country and track teams. I was a fairly average runner, I promise you. And at the beginning of any long-distance race, there's this anticipation and this excited energy and intense focus running across the athletes standing on the starting line. In class of 2018, that's where you are today. This stage is your starting line. This room is filled with the pride, the excitement, and the nervous anticipation of athletes ready to race and your fans ready to cheer you on. Now, after the starting gun goes off, there's this surge of adrenaline as the whole group leaps forward to the roar of the fans. You're feeling great, you're caught up in the race, and you're full of excitement. Then, as the starting line falls behind, and the crowd and the other runners thin out, and you're properly in the course, that initial energy fades, and you're left with your breath, your training, some creeping muscle fatigue, and the thought, gee, this is going to be a long one. Class of 2018, as someone who graduated 12 years before you, this is where I'm at. Initial heady rush subsided and settling into the oh-so-interesting long run that is life. And what I've discovered is that the course doesn't go where you anticipated or even where you were promised. So as someone only slightly in front of you on this ever-evolving trail, what I will humbly offer you today are 3 observations. In the States, we're taught to be competitive, on the playing field, in the classroom, in the boardroom, applying to colleges, going through higher education, and trying to establish ourselves in careers. We lean towards adopting the survivor mentality: outwit, outlast, outplay. However, life isn't a solo act, and you are here, about to cross this stage today, thanks to the efforts of parents, family, teachers, friends and classmates, and mentors who did their best to make you succeed. And they will continue to do so, as will a host of friends, partners, professors, co-workers, and bosses you've yet to meet. You're also the fortunate recipients of a lot of privilege, whether related to your race, your sex, your orientation, your economic status, the support of the people around you, or just the fact that you have benefited from a stellar 4 or 7 years of education at this school. All of your accomplishments to date, and those going forward, are the culmination of your talents and drive, as well as your circumstances and the people around you helping you succeed and taking a chance on you. The summer after my freshman year of university, I joined an anthropological field school in rural Guatemala. 7 weeks of intense research training, planning, data collection, and write-ups. The field school was entirely upperclassmen and graduate students, and then me. The professor took a chance on me and let me join, not because of my own anthropological prowess — I barely knew what anthropology was — but because one of his respected students, a senior, asked him to give me a chance. In an earlier conversation with me, that senior had seen a keen but extremely confused freshman and decided to help me out. I worked my tail off, and I came out of that summer with a passion for living abroad, for development, for research, and the first of many unexpected twists in my own trail. But none of it would have been possible without that professor and without that student. Every year that goes by, you will accumulate a broader collection of life hacks, fun facts, and lessons learned. So first, for this class, I would ask you to reflect on what has allowed you to succeed and create those conditions for others. You are never too young to be a mentor to someone younger. You are never too low on the totem pole, at work or in school, to give advice or a leg up to others more junior. Be generous with your experience and your talents. And there's a perk. Approach the world wanting to make people around you succeed, and you'll see that others will create opportunities for you too. Now, I want to pause for a quick moment to settle a bet between me and my father. If you're listening at this very moment, please stroke your chin thoughtfully as if I've said something very profound. Okay, it's not bad. It's better than I expected. Hope you're watching, Dad. So my dad, in attempting to settle my nerves about writing this speech, told me, "It's fine, Leanne. No one listens to the keynote speaker at graduation anyway." He said that everyone would have their minds elsewhere. They'd be thinking about the rest of the day, the graduation parties, worrying about the future, thinking about tuition bills. When we think of being present, there's no shortage of apps, blogs, Instagram accounts, and even old-fashioned books extolling the virtues of being present in the moment. But the second thing I would observe to this class is the importance of being present in life overall. Being present in life means letting go of the shoulda, woulda, coulda of what might have been, and the stress of what should come next, and exploring and investing in your life and your world for what they are now. And it's more than just introspective navel-gazing. I would encourage this class to continue, as you've already done, to be present in your communities, in your state, in your nation, and in your world. And part of being present means being open to engaging with others, as well as the possibility of changing your perspectives. Recognize that your point of view and your way of life aren't universal truths. And I get that this sadly feels really difficult right now for everyone, especially when pitted against some of the ideological and partisan bickering that we've devolved to in this country. However, your world and your worldview will grow ever more elaborate and detailed as you find ways to connect with and listen to people who share your community but not your circles, your state but not your politics, your country but not your background, and your world but not your culture. And once you've connected, act, discuss, volunteer, organize, march, reform, revolt. You don't need to change the world. You can improve your corner of it. Finally, have you noticed in the classroom and in our families, in our office, and in our own heads, we can be so quick to shut down ideas? The best I can tell, it's because it can be difficult to deviate from the path we have in our minds, the course that we've determined is right or will lead to success. So we say no to anything that threatens our perfect plan. But what if we said yes more often? So as I promised you, class of 2018, I'm going to ask you to help me here. Whatever I say to you, I want you to respond yes and with enthusiasm. Would you like to hear a story?
Yes.
Should it be about some intrepid Cary Academy graduates?
Yes.
Should they be wildly successful in everything that they do?
Yes.
Should they have an adventure?
Yes.
And should they live happily ever after?
Yes.
Okay, that was great. Well done. Now, once more, class of 2018, if you wouldn't mind responding no to whatever I say. Would you like to hear a story?
No.
Succinctly demonstrated. To quote comedian Rachel Dratch, no leads to dead ends, and yes leads to possibilities. When I graduated from Cary Academy in 2006, I was going to be a doctor. Not just a doctor. I was going to be a pediatric surgeon. I knew where I was going to go to medical school, where I was going to do my residency, everything. And in university, to my immense consternation, the broader my world became, the less stable my plans. That Guatemala trip freshman year had been eye-opening, but don't worry, guys. It's fine. I was still on the path to medical school. And then after my second year of university, I had a choice. Spend the summer studying as I had planned for the MCATs, which are the medical school entrance exams, or take this sudden opportunity of an internship at the U.S. Department of State in D.C. I said yes to the internship. I had an amazing time. And in saying yes, my worldview shifted irrevocably, and with it, my carefully established plans. And to a driven, goal-oriented person like myself, nothing was more destabilizing than saying yes and discovering that I didn't want to be a doctor. And I don't know, perhaps I wanted to be a diplomat, or then later a development worker, and now I'm a public health professional. Class of 2018, to date, your lives have been reassuringly checkpointed. You pass through grades K through 12 with set curricula and ceremonies to mark appropriate milestones. And many of you who have done very well at Cary Academy and will continue to do very well at college may be dismayed to discover that from there on out, the checkpoints will start to flicker and then fade entirely. Following university, some of you will start working, others will continue for years of further education, and some may do both. Clear the classroom entirely, and then you're really in the fog. What does it take to be successful? Is it 30 years climbing steadily within the same company? Is it starting your own company? Is it a meaningful experience abroad? Is it an internship in New York? Is it raising a family? Is it 2 years in the Peace Corps, taking a break from the grind entirely? What comes next? My final note to this class is that there is no signposted trail to success. There are only opportunities that will arise and the courage to say yes. However scary, the times I have been able to say yes have led to me having adventures on 4 different continents. The first job I received in Geneva originated from a one-line email from a professor. I said yes, and 3 weeks later found myself on a new continent. So say yes to that one-line email from a professor. Say yes to a service learning trip. Say yes to ballroom dance classes, and be amazed by the path that you create for yourself. In conclusion, having affirmed to you that life really is that unpredictable, I'd like to set this challenge for the class of 2018. Improvise your way through life. Bear with me on this. When I'm not working at WHO, I perform and teach as part of an improvisational comedy troupe called the Renegade Saints. Improvised comedy involves no script, set characters, or planned storyline. a full story is told from start to finish and is created on the spot with help of suggestions from the audience. Improv is electrifying, it's challenging, and it's unpredictable. Before each show, each person on my troupe quickly goes to every other person and, with one hand on their back, looks them in the eye and says, "I've got your back." It's a small, important reminder that improv isn't a solo act. No audience will ever enjoy your witty one-liners if your scene partner is floundering next to you on stage. So our goal in every scene is not to worry about ourselves, but instead to make our partners succeed. They, in turn, go out on stage to do the same. And we do this by truly listening, by being 100% present and tuning into everything happening around us. We then say yes to each other's ideas and make them come alive on stage. So with no script, no set, no props, every word, every movement, every mime is a small contribution to a reality that you're working to construct from scratch. You look after the people around you, you're present and engaged, and you say yes to a crazy idea, and your reality blossoms before your eyes. Now, as an improviser on stage and in life, you're exposed to these rules early on, but it takes a lifetime to perfect them. For many people, the idea of standing in front of others and telling a story without any idea of where it will end is a thing nightmares are made of. But when you think about it, life is equally and stubbornly unscripted. And I have learned that no amount of vision boards, goal setting, 5-year planning, or mantra adopting will lead to a concrete path for living your life. Unexpected deviations are a guarantee. So class of 2018, I want to encourage you to have your partner's back, be present, say yes. In other words, improvise and get started. My sincere congratulations to the class of 2018, and thank you all very much.
Leanne, thank you very much for your inspired remarks. Would Palmer Seeley, senior class grade leader, Mrs. Udell, and Dr. Jim Goodnight, representing the founders of CA, please come forward to assist with the presenting of diplomas.
Members of the board, faculty, staff, administration, and guests. It is my privilege to present to you the following members of the senior class. They have met all of the requirements to earn the Cary Academy diploma. Seniors, when your name is called, please come forward to receive that diploma. Would the seniors on my right please prepare to receive their diplomas? George William Adenuti. Princess Ogachukwu Valerie Moira Bernard Oti. Alexander John Boa. Victoria Elizabeth Borlace. Caroline Lorraine Brewer. Benjamin Joseph Bricio. Daniel Journey Squire Brown. Kennedy Logan Bird. Chloe Andrea Capitanos. Danielle Kathleen Carr. Caroline Lori Cece. Samuel Mok Ching Chow. Chase William Allen Coley. David Chandler Cree. Lucy Grace Daly. Aisha Pratik Desai. Catherine Elizabeth Desmond. Leo Colin D'Souza. Sean Dewan. Kristen Teresa Draper. Tuck Quang Nguyen Su. Charlotte Page East. Evan Giddings Earhart. Brant Harrison Evans. Sarah Austin Faircloth. Chelsea Janice Fang. Dominic Valente Faculty. Hope Victoria Ferris. Chapman Thomas Fitzgerald. Olivia Page Frazier. Reese Holton Kim Geyer. Emma Elizabeth Glosson. Ziana Emil Green. Mallory Lamb Griffin. Kayla Eileen Hausler. Jason Michael Hallman. Catherine Quinn Hampton. Chloe Moon Hassan. Margaret Anna Hayes. Rory Drake Hines. Shane Joseph Hoffman. Thomas Oliveira Hoffman. Tyler Joseph Horwitz. Benjamin Forrest Humphreys. Naomi Simone Johnson. Alexandra Rose Jones. Elizabeth Gray Jones. Matthew John Kavinsky. Madison Elizabeth Cadis in absentia. Mohala Ann Kalibi. Armen Kassam. Alexander Walters Knott. Enoch Kwan. Dylan Robert Lamphere. Lily Frances Lee. Brianna Elizabeth Leith. Benjamin Lee Lipson. Emma Grace Mann. Laurel Hannah Matthews. William Ross Matan. Rachel Clara May. Joseph Charles McDarris II. Margaret Elise Maymandy. Coleman Donnell Mitchell, Jr. Madeline Claire Mizell. Sullivan Marie Morgus. Kenneth Leroy Murphy III. Joseph Lee Nemchek. Sarah Catherine Niles. Maxwell Rosenfeld Nunez. Kate June Park. Madison Taylor Plazkowski. Joshua David Pullen. Mason Reese. Isha Radhika Sachdeva. Edward Garner Sanders, Jr. Robert Eric Schellenberger. Michelle Gardner Schwartz. Jonathan Yeager Siegel. Adrian Nora Scheitman. Brent Lafayette Shelton. William Henry Snyder III. Julian Michael Sedano. Cole Garrett Spector. Sarah Paige Steffens. Mary Grace Stevenson. Una Sophie Stevens. William Rhett Tabor IV. Kira Yichin Tai. Leonardo Daniel Tamburo. Neil Haresh Tharwani. Rhea Thomas. Taylor Timinskis. Christopher Michael Toy. William Harrison Connor Trent. Justin Michael Tunley. Helena Isabel Turbides. Margaret Ann Velto. Anjali Valu. Vincent Yuchen Wang. Ethan McGuire Watts. Miriam Catherine Elizabeth Weathers. Jack Richard Werner. Elizabeth Wells White. Hutch Whitman. Lucas Kane Wilson. Emma Lee Zayas. Harrison Zhang. Athena Zodel. Would the entire senior class please rise? There you go. Tassels ready. Mrs. Udell, I hereby present to you the Cary Academy class of 2018.
Graduates, please be seated. Congratulations, class of 2018. On behalf of Cary Academy's Board of Directors, I am delighted to be the first to welcome you to Cary Academy's growing alumni network. Now that you're ready for the next step, I offer my thoughts on how building relationships will help craft a rich college experience for each of you. Both universities and their graduates identify relationships between faculty and students as a hallmark of an outstanding educational experience. And from your Cary Academy years, each of you know that to be true. One of the distinctive features that each Cary Academy graduating class appreciates is that our faculty teach, mentor, and encourage you inside and outside of the classroom. And while you've come to enjoy these close student-faculty relationships as the norm in our learning community, that will not necessarily be true during your college years unless you work to make that happen. Class of 2018, take initiative to actively engage and build these relationships. Your professors dedicated their lives to becoming experts in their academic areas. They will be flattered to share their life's work and passion with you. But you need to be genuinely curious and interested in their paths. I challenge each of you to do the following. Early in your fall semester, choose one of your professors and make an appointment during office hours. Ask about his or her career path, be interested, and listen to the story that he or she tells you. Solicit his or her advice about making the most of your college years. At minimum, you will distinguish yourself from those who visit office hours solely seeking a spot in an overbooked class. This conversation may spark an emerging area of interest to you and lead you to a second or third discussion, a research opportunity, an internship, and who knows, eventually even a meaningful friendship. But don't expect this to happen magically. You need to leap into that uncomfortable zone and take that first step. Graduates, you've distinguished yourself as a class willing to expand your world far beyond the triangle, as demonstrated by the impressive list of colleges and universities that you've selected to attend in the fall. I challenge you to actively understand the uniqueness of each of your college campuses. Participate in a club or a service activity that is unlike anything you've ever tried before. Attend a campus-wide speakers event on a topic that you know nothing about. Take time to deeply listen to the perspective of a peer who differs from you in ethnicity, gender, political affiliation, religious beliefs, or socioeconomic background. Quiet the mental chatter in your mind of agreeing or disagreeing with what you hear. Simply seek to understand. Deeply listening to another's story will amaze you in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. Let the timeless adage remind us, make new friends, but keep the old. You'll engage in a lot of small talk as you get to know your new friends and assess who may be a real friend. Be patient with yourself and be patient with your new acquaintances because friendships take time to develop. If your experience mirrors that of Cary Academy graduates who've come before you, you'll gain a deeper appreciation for how meaningful your relationships within our learning community are. Inevitably, the road that each of you travel will be uniquely yours. Invite others along with you during times of celebration as well as during times of challenge or disappointment. Be open to lending an ear or making a connection for a past, present, or future Cary Academy student who reaches out to you. You are forever a charger and will always be an important part of our hearts. Cary Academy made a difference in each of your lives. Now it's your turn to be difference makers for life. To each of you, we wish heart-filled congratulations on your many accomplishments, and we can't wait to see what your future holds.
Congratulations, Cary Academy graduates. Now let's hear from the Cary Academy singers.
Could be, and if I end up happy,
I'd like to express my gratitude to the members of our community who have worked diligently to make this commencement special. Michael Hayes, Aaron Yantz, Chris Gilmore, and Kelly Contronis and the rest of the advancement team, Jeff Wasensky in security, Jess Garcia and his facilities staff, and Kim Fogelman. You work exceedingly hard to make every commencement magical, and once again, you have been successful. Thank you. Thank you to Emily Turner. Thank you to Emily Turner, Linda Velto, and our concert choir, Yiying Chow, and our orchestra musicians for making today's ceremony all the more beautiful. Thank you. To Cary Academy's faculty and staff, our school is not buildings and sports fields. It's not laptops and trips. You are the heart and soul of this very special place. Thank you for sharing your grace, your wisdom, and your love with this year's graduating seniors. Finally, I'd like to recognize any alumni in attendance today. Would you please stand? Thank you for staying connected with your classmates and your school. We're delighted that you've joined us today. Now, would you please rise and join our Cary Academy singers and orchestra in the Alma Mater. It's printed in the back of your program. As we close, our faculty and staff will exit first to form a receiving line for our new graduates. Please give all the graduates an opportunity to exit the line before leaving the gym. We invite you all to join us for a reception honoring our graduates out on the quad, and food and refreshments will be in the fitness center. It's the building directly on your right upon exiting.